Hello everyone, welcome to Alina's fashion. So this is how to sew a blazer jacket. We've done a video for how to cut it earlier. So this is how to sew it. In this video, we're going to be starting with cutting of the sleeve. Then we dive into the full sewing of this jacket. So watch till the end and learn how to cut and sew a blazer jacket.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Alina's channel. So this is the cutting of this blazer jacket. Please do well to watch this first video. So for this second video, we are going to be sewing this jacket. Okay, so the link for this video is down below. Watch out for it. So for the sleeve, I'm taking the measurement of the armhole. Okay, that is 8.5 plus 5 inches. I made it 9, so I'm coming down by 6 inches for the sleeve cap. Okay, so this part of the fabric is folded, then this side is open, then you come down again. This is the 6 inches. Okay, you mark your 6 inches for the sleeve cap, then you just draw the line like so. Then you're going to draw another line, a diagonal line, armhole plus 0.5 inch for the width of the sleeve. Okay, so this is the diagonal line I'll be drawing down to this sleeve cap. Then half of this line you come in, half of this line come in by 0.5 inch, then give it a curve. So this is what I'm doing. Just curve it like this. So this is it from the sleeve cap. Then thereafter come and take your length of the sleeve. So my sleeve length is I'm going to be using 23 inches. So just mark 23 inches like so. So I'm going to be taking half of the length of this sleeve, and then I'll measure my elbow to divide it by 2. Mark the elbow here, divide by 2. Then the wrist divide by 2. Okay, you mark it here. Then you can add 0.5 inch. Just draw the line. So basically you have your sleeve here. So after drafting your sleeve, you cut it out, and then you can use it for cutting on your fabric. But I was starting with the lining. I'll be cutting with the lining before the main fabric. So this is the basic sleeve. Take note of where to put the folded part. Fold in 4. Okay, so you cut out the pattern. So this is it, just cutting out the sleeve. So after the sleeve, we move to the next one, which is the main pattern. That is the front bodice. I'm going to be folding this part. I'm not using this black fabric for this part, so I'm going to be cutting it out like this. I'm folding this part. I'll cut this part out. I'm just folding it in, and you can see I'm tracing it on the lining. Okay, I'll just trace out the part that I need for the lining, and then I'll cut out the one that is from the main fabric, and I'm going to be attaching it to this lining. So just see how it's going to be, because the jacket is going to be open from the inner to the outer parts of the bodice. So this is how it looks. This is how I've chopped it out. After tracing it, you cut it out. So I'm just going to follow the chalk and cut it out. So this is the front inner or lining that will take the lapel. So for the back bodies, so I've placed the pattern like this. So I'm going to be tracing it out. Okay, so basically the back bodies have darts. I'm going to be notching the darts. If you take note, this is it. So for the main fabric, I'm using the lining to cut the main fabric. I've placed it like so. I'm going to be adding the full length. Okay, so for the front pattern, I'm using this to, I've added the full length. Okay, and then I've added 0.5 inch round about it. So I've cut it out. This is it. So I'm going to be tracing out this lapel for the lining. So I've chalked it like this. I'm folding this part or removing this part, and then I'm going to be drawing the line all the way down to this part. So I'm just chalking it out like this. So after chalking it out, this is the main fabric. I'm going to be tracing it on another fabric for the lining. So I'm tracing it on this fabric. I'll just trace it with a chalk. I've pinned this part down like this. I'm going to be cutting it out. So cutting out the lapel, I just use the exact one that I've used for the main fabric.
So literally, this is how to cut the lapel.
This particular lapel is going to be used on the lining, and then the main fabric is cut out together. So this is it for the lining. So I've placed the interfacing on all of it plus the lapel. So I'm going to be folding in the dart. This notched part is for the dart, and we know where the dart stopped at the back bodies is on the chest line. So I've attached a lapel to the lining. So this is how it looks when you flip it like this. This is it for the lining, the front lining, front bodies. So I've sewn it like this. This is the sleeve and everything. I've sewn it with the darts and all that. So this is how the lining is. I'm leaving this part for turnover. Okay, so I fixed the shoulder pad. So I'll leave a link for the video on how to fix this shoulder pad. So watch out for that. So for the main fabric, I've also placed the interfacing and I've ironed it out. So I'm going to be taking the dart. The dart is 5 inches after the chest line. So this is how to do the dart. I'm just going to be folding it like so. Okay, and then this notch part, I'm going to be pinning it down, and then I'm making sure that the dart for both sides are equal. So from the chest line down to this dart is 5 inches. Okay, 5 inches like so, then it's all the way down. So the waist are also, this is how I'll be doing the back bodies also, but this dart is to the chest line. Taking the dart for the back bodies, you reach the chest line. Okay, the dart stops at the chest line. So this is it. I folded one part of the back body, so I'm folding this other part from this notched part. I fold it like this. Remember, I notched it from the pattern, so I just fold it like this. Make sure the measurement is accurate and measure the waist 3.5 inches. Same with this. Okay, 3.5 inches. So I'm going to be pinning these down. Okay, and then I'm going to be locking the dots. So basically this is what we do. I'm going to be chalking down these dots so that I'll know when I'm sewing, especially when I take off the pins. Okay, so I'll flip the other parts and not because and chalk it down because this part goes to the machine like so. So I'm just going to be chalking this that all the way so that to guard the sewing. This video is really beginners friendly. So I've made the darts for the back bodies and I've sewn the center back. So this is how it looks. Very fine. So give it a good press. Okay, so this is the front piece. I've sewn the collar and also the darts. This is the collar that I've sewn. I've just attached it. So for the back bodies, I'm going to be showing you how to pin it down from the shoulder. You just pin it down like so. Make sure you follow the cutter, and then after pinning it down, you sew it. Then you trim wherever needs to be trimmed. So this is it. I'm going to be trimming this part like this. I'm trimming this part. So for the collar, you just merge it together with the center back that we've sewn, and then you pin it down and then you sew it. That's it. So I'm just going to be pinning it down. Okay, please don't be in a rush when you're sewing. Whatever you rush to sew, you rush to losing it. So whatever you do, pin it down, look at it very well before you sew. As you rush to sew, you rush to losing also. And when you're losing, you know that you don't have to rush at all. So I've pinned it down. So I'm going to be sewing every part of it. So every part of this will be sewn and you see the outcome. After that, I'm going to be sewing the armhole. Okay, so this is the armhole with the sleeve. This is the sleeve. So I'm going to be putting the sleeve at the center. Okay, the center of the sleeve at the shoulder part. And then I'm just going to be sewing from the sleeve down to the blazer jacket hem. So if you're new to Alina's fashion, please hit the subscription button. Tell others about Alina's fashion. Leave your like and comments. We'll love to see it. For the shoulder part, as I've earlier said, I'll I'll keep the link below for the video or how to get the shoulder part and how to sew it. So this is it. I've sewn the blazer jacket, the main fabric. So I'm going to be trimming every trimmables and then I'll be fixing it with the lining. So this is the lining. So just merge the lining and the main fabric right side facing right side. So I'm going to be merging it like so. I've pinned it from the collar down to the lapel. This is from where I'll start sewing. From one part of the collar, I'll sew down to the lapel, and then to the other part, then straight down, I'll sew the hem, and then I'll turn it from the opening that I left. Okay, so this is me pinning it down. First of all, I'll pin it down, then take it to the machine and sew. So I've finished sewing, and I'm going to be notching every notchable so that it will relax properly. Then the shoulder part is there. This is where I'm going to be turning it out from. Okay, so I'll turn it out. Please watch the video on how to cut your shoulder part and how to sew it on the jacket. I'm going to be leaving the link down below. And for the first video on how to cut this jacket, please go and look for it and watch. So this is it. I'm turning it out from the opening in the lining. So when you turn it out, you give it a good press. After turning it out, you insert the lining sleeve into the main fabric sleeve. Okay, so this is the main fabric. This is the main fabric. This is the sleeve. You just carry the lining and you insert the lining sleeve into this main fabric sleeve. Then you sew the sleeve. You just sew the wrist like so. I've pinned it down. I'm going to be sewing it round, and your jacket is ready. Give it a good press. Here we go.